I used to say to my patients all the time that I feel like mental health, I look at it like a pie graph, and like 25% of it is the circumstance. So it's like what's going on in your life right now and how you're reacting to it. 25%, and this is my opinion, this is not based off science, just so the listeners are really clear on this. 25% is based off of the way you've been modeled or your traumas and like what's happened to you in your life. And 50% of it is physiological. And I think with you, that was one thing that was really interesting, is that I kept looking through that lens when we first started working together of like, what's showing up here? And we just dove right into the 50% that was physiological. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like that changed the other percentages.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. I think one of the biggest pieces was removing toxins from my system. I used to eat a lot of sushi and I had a buildup of mercury. And I think that, especially when it comes to anxiety, like that was a big trigger for me.
Yeah.
I keep track every day of my anxiety level, my sleep, like all those different things. So we can always refer back to like, if there was an issue, if we had a bump in the road, like what was causing it. But I find myself like getting to anxiety and going, oh, I didn't have any today. Or like I had the normal, typical, like, a little bit, but I don't even consider that, like, I haven't had like anxiety attacks or anything along those lines.
And so how much of your life did you have anxiety attacks?
Probably more than I realize. I think my depression and anxiety started much earlier than I realize, but I can definitely, I can clock it starting around 29.
Oh, so in your teenage years, you didn't have a lot of...
I would say I'd had more depression in my teenage years than I did anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up, my mom was severely depressed. And so I think it kind of, and then of course, like just growing up in front of the world.
Right.
All the stuff I went through, my parents getting divorced and
yeah,
like all the things that you don't think affect you at that time because you're so young, but then you realize that they definitely did. But my anxiety really kicked in around 29.
Yeah. And I think, one of the things that I find really intriguing about you is and I love this about you, is like your willingness to be so transparent and to give back. Like I think when we first started working together, there was a lot of top discussion around your mental health, and you were so generous with just showing up to the world and saying like, yeah, this is who I am. This is how it's been. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that. They get stuck in the labeling of their condition because it's almost like they own it. And
well, it does become a piece of you if you allow it. You know what I mean? It really does become a part of your personality.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, I didn't see a way out. I know you saw a way out for me. But I mean, we'd have these discussions and over again that you would, coach me through what you saw for me. But there's, when you've been in that state for so long, like you don't really know that there's an open door.
It's because it's so close.
Yeah.
I think this is about health in general. Even for me, like I have people that I go to when I'm just like, I can't solve my own health puzzle. I need you to look at this, because I think we're so close to it that it's really hard to navigate your own way out of it. And one of the things I want to do today is really talk about all the pieces we put together, because the other thing that I think happens to people is that they think there's one way.
Yeah. No, that's the thing that I've learned is it's very personal for you.
Very personal.
Yeah. And what people claim works for them may not work for you. Yeah. And something that, and vice versa. Like there might be something that's like not working for other people, but all of a sudden it's like the thing that works for you. So I think I find myself, I'm a guinea pig for, I'll try mostly everything once. I'm up for it. Like if it's gonna, move the needle on my health, then yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, which is beautiful, because not everybody's willing to do that. Yeah. So, and that's why as we go
we've tried some crazy stuff.
We've tried some crazy things. And now, as we go through all the things you tried, and I want to try to put it in a formula for people so that they can walk away from this conversation and pull out what they need to do for their own health. But I want to go to that moment when you decided, like, I need some help. I'm not doing well. Because you did work before you and I started.
Yeah, I mean, I've done plenty of mental health work and therapy and different kinds of therapy. And I just really have never looked at the physical component of my mental health, which there is a huge component, as we discussed.